So when my IKFK is working, I don't want when I'm FK, I don't want to see these controls at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load in my footcon. Then I'm going to load in that main group for my legs and load driver. Sorry, that's driven. My footcon is the driver. IKFK switch, visibility. So when my switch is at 0, I'm fully IK. So I'm going to select my leg group. I'm going to turn that off. And we're going to hit key. Oops. There we go. And then here, when I'm switching over to IK, when I'm switching over to FK, then we're going to turn this on. Now, the issue that I had earlier, where this was staying, it wasn't moving with it, doesn't matter, because one, we're not going to see it, and when we need it, the leg will be where that control is. Does everybody understand that? So I was like, oh, this is not doing it. It didn't matter. Understood? Or I'm just looking at a lot of blank faces. Understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Now, let's go ahead and deal with the IKFK switch for the arms. I'm not going to deal with the hands today, but I do want to go ahead and get the arms and all that other good stuff out of the way. So, at some point, I accidentally deleted a group. So, I'm just going to group that to itself. I'm going to do edit, duplicate special, boom. Then I'm going to modify, freeze transformations. I'm going to also go to select hierarchy and modify, search and replace names, and we're going to look for underscore LT and replace it with underscore RT. And now we're going to take this out of this group. Alright. And this is my RT arm group. And I guess I could delete this one and rename it so I don't have to do it twice. I'm going to group that to itself, that to itself, I'm going to group that to itself, I'm going to group that to itself, and I could group that to itself. That's fine. Select these groups, modify, center pivot, that again, edit, duplicate special, modify, select hierarchy, sorry, search and replace names, and we'll do this once again. There we go. And let's get this out of here. Modify, freeze transformations. There we go. There we go. Alright. I also need to get my clavicle control over as well. Modify, center pivot, RT, clav, group. Group that to itself, edit, duplicate special. And we're going to take this group out. Modify, freeze transformations. There we go. Alright, we're looking somewhat good. Now, let's get our IK working first. We've already got it here. So this is doing what it's supposed to do. Let's get our pull vector working. So I'm going to select this, my IK, constrain, and we're going to do a pull vector. Let's do it over here. Select this, my IK, constrain, pull vector. Now, we have that working, and yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and use a script for this if I have it. Well, I do have it, so I don't have to type out everything. But let's get these working. Let's get our wrist working. The wrist is easy. This is not being controlled by it, so it's fine. So I'm going to select this control here, constrain, and we're just going to do a orient constraint. Let's select our control, our wrist joint, constrain, orient. Now as for this is also not controlled. And so we're going to do this, select this, here, and we're going to do an orient constraint. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Now, for this, I want to select my bone. Let's get these open. I should name this, so let's go ahead and do that before we get too involved. RT, and why did I name this earlier? That was dumb. RT wrist group, wrist con group. You guys have watched me spend a lot of time naming stuff. RT for group. RT elbow con group. RT shoulder con group. And this is my RT IK con group. Just think, why did I do that? Somebody tell me why did I just do that? Anyone? There we go. Now, for this, I think I will you guys can write down the list. It's the same one as before. So we'll select this. What? 43. There we go. I don't know what happened there. I've used that script before. So I have everything I need in here for my hand, but what I don't have in here is a switch. Now, I can put this switch on my hand. I could put it as something else, but I think I'm just going to leave it on the hand and keep it simple. Well, it's not all that simple, but let's go ahead and modify. And let's go to add attribute. IK, FK, switch. Let's do 1 and 0. And let's do this. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's first of all create a displayable. And then we're going to create a enum. IK. FK. And then we're going to do amount. And that would just be a straight float. Minimum 0, max 1. Cool. So we got 3 in there. Now I'm going to group this to itself. Edit, duplicate special. Rename this. Take that out. Modify, freeze transformations. And this lovely thing, I can go ahead and get this part set up. Use my joint sizes so I can see. I'm going to select this, and I can just parent constrain it so it stays with it. Same thing here. I can select my palm, this, display, constrain, parent constrain. Cool. Now, let's get our switch actually working. So what I'm going to do is let's select the IK, the same thing we did with the legs. And we're going to go to load driven, IKFK blend, hand controls by driver, all the way down here. And what we want to do is amount. And we go to the blend. So we'll keep it the same. So if the amount is set at 0, and this gets confusing, I should keep all the values the same, but I'm going to keep the convention I set for it the same. So amount blend, my blend's at 1. This is at 0, so 1 0, I mean 0 1. Hit key. Then we go here. I change this to 1. Go to my blend, change that to 0, and we hit key. Now, and at this point, my IK shouldn't do anything. And then we go back here. Oh, I didn't do the parent constraint to my IK, did I? Yeah, I did. Oh, that's my pole vector. I haven't done this as well too. So let me select this, my IK constraint. I'm gonna do a, actually we're just gonna do a point constraint and maintain offset. There we go. And I need to reset that. Oh, there we go. Let's do the same thing over here. All right. So I move this. And essentially what's going to happen now, it doesn't control it. And then we go back. And it does. Now, what we're going to do here on the hand is this. So if we're 0, we're IK. So I'm going to load the hand as my driver. And it's also going to be my driven. And amount is going to control what type. So if I'm at 0, we're IK. I'm going to hit key. And then if I change this to 1, we're going to switch to FK and hit key. And then we are going to just make this a displayable. So we're going to lock it because it's just for the user. So they can see the difference between the two. Understood? Okay, I'm going to do one hand, arm completed, and then I'm going to just very quickly do the other arms, and then that's it. Alright, so I'm going to select this. I'm just going to do strain, orient, this one, here, G, this one to this one. This is already controlling that, so that's fine. Let's do this to this one, here, here. We already have that. Now as for this, I can try to do a aim constraint, and what I can do is select this. Yeah, let's select not that one. Here. And we could try an aim constraint to see what we get. I could just try to do a straight orient constraint and see what I can get, or let's do this. I know I want this to rotate along Z, bring that up, and I want my Y to control this. So we could look to see if we have any options in our in our aim constraint. And I can say constrain all axes, but I could just tell it to control Z. And then we can see what we get. And we get it to move up. Or, if I don't want to do that, I can also do a set driven key. Does everybody understand that? Yes, no? Okay. Now, let's get our arms moving with everything as well. So we have our group here. Our RT arm group. And the easiest thing for us to do is just to have it really constrained to the clavicle or the shoulder blade. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to select this, constrain, and we're going to just do a parent constraint. Yeah, I did. I might change how the cloud will set up in a second. Now, as for our groups, we'll do the same thing we've done before. I'm going to select this, my shoulder con group, constrain parent. I'm going to select this, my elbow group, constrain parent. And I'm going to select my last elbow, my forearm group, parent constraint. My forearm, I'm going to select my wrist group, my wrist con group, and do a parent constraint. Alright. Now, I do have some other options that I can do. I need to get this moving with my group, and so I'm just going to take my RTPV while it was default and stick it in my group for my arm group. And then I'm going to take all of my, not all of them, I'm going to take my 2 FK controls for my arm. I'm going to group that to itself. FK cons. Group. Now, what I want to do is when I'm IK, these disappear, and when I'm FK, this disappears. Alright? Same thing we did before. It's not complicated. So I'm going to select my hand control, that's my driver. I'm going to select the group I've just created. And that is RT FK cons group. And I'm just going to center the pivot on that. Alright. And what I'm going to do is load that in as my driven. And let's take another look at this. We already got this set up. So here I'm IK. I want these to disappear because I've already set that up. Visibility on the group. I'm going to change that to 0. And hit key. Now we got it. And hit key. Then we go back to here. Set this to 1. Go back to my group. Set that to 1. And now we're FK. Now, let's load in this group here, my RTIK con group, and I am going to load driven. And let's see where we're at. We are at FK. Let's just start off from the beginning. Visibility, amount. So if this is 0, this is at 1. We hit key. Then, once we go to 1, and we're FK, we turn this off. And we key it. And there we go. Now, one last thing that I want to do is this here. I think I'm going to change this to just a set-driven key instead of doing an aim constraint. So I'm going to delete my aim constraint. And this is what we're going to do. So we're going to control Z. And then we're going to control this. Now what I will do with this is set a limit along my translation. And here, and let's say That's 1 and 1. Let's say we do negative 3 and 3. Positive 3. And that's sufficient. We can always do more if we want later. So I'm going to select this. We're going to do a set driven key again. I already have that up. And we're going to load our driver. And then this joint right here is my driven. And this is going to be translate Y, rotate Z. And we're going to key it because that's default. And let's say when I go down to here, we're going to rotate this, let's say negative, let's put an extreme in, 40. That's a lot. It's not that bad. And then we're going to key it. And when I'm up at my height, here, let's say we go to 40. Nice little extreme there. Okay. Can anybody tell me the mistake that I just made? Why isn't this working? I did set some keys, but I set it on the wrong thing. Oh, you're right. I did not set keys. How did that happen? All right, let's do this one more time. Load driven. Oh, no. Okay. Let's break this. Load driven. We have that. All right. Key that. You want to move this down. It's already limited. Negative 40. Key it. It went back up. Good. And we're going to go to extreme. And then we're going to make this. Oops. Not that one. This one. 40. And we key it. So here, I got my set driven keys, but if you notice something, it's choppy. And that's because my keys, initial keys, were set to stepped. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my animation editor, graph editor. I have my set driven keys here. That's stepped. I'm going to select these tangents and let's change it to spline. And now it should look a lot more smooth.